Good morning, class 6. Today we are going to do a very interesting poem, The Quarrel. Before we start the poem, I would just like to ask you a few questions. We all have siblings and we often tend to have a fight with them off and on. And in this time, when you are in the lockdown and at home, I hope and I know that you must be fighting every now and then, and your mother and father must be getting irritated and you might be getting scolding for that. Now, why do we quarrel? Quarrel can be the reason or the cause when we are at having two different perspectives. One of the most important cause nowadays for quarrel is the remote control of the television or the mobile phone, right? So you must be having a fight with your younger brother or sister or your elder brother or sister over the phone for you want the mobile for more time, or you want that remote control of the television, or she wants it or he wants it, right? So the quarrel is for very petty reasons most of the time. You will, if you are discussing after having a fight, if you want to tell it to your friends, you will realize that it was a very minute, such not very important reason which should be exaggerated. But what happens when you are having a quarrel? You say something, the other person says something, and gradually it takes a very bad shape, and at times you get beating from your parents, and you pledge or take oath that you are not going to talk to the elder brother or sister or younger brother or sister, but then that doesn't happen. After some time, maybe you go up to patch up with him or her, or she comes up and says sorry to you and you guys patch up. So that is what happens here. The poetess, she also has a fight with her brother. Let's see the poem, The Quarrel. It is common for brothers and sisters to quarrel, although sometimes they may not even be able to say why they quarrel. But how long do such quarrels last? How do they end? This is what I was telling you, that these quarrels does not last for long. It is just for some for some hours or maybe for a few days. But then it ends up and you become friends never before. I quarreled with my brother. I don't know what about. One thing led to another, and somehow we fell out. The start of it was slight. The end of it was strong. He said he was right. I knew he was wrong. So the poetess, that is Eleanor Forgeon, she said that she had a quarrel with her brother, but then she cannot recall what was the reason for it. And what happens in the quarrel, that you say something, then the other person will say something, and that leads to another and it becomes huge. So one thing led to another, and somehow we fell out. Here fell out means they quarreled. The start of it was slight, that is, it was a very minute reason, as such a very petty reason you can say. The end of it was strong, but gradually it took a very bad shape. He said he was right. She's talking about her brother. He said that he was right in the fight. Whatever he said was right. But the poetess, she said that I knew that he was wrong. That means her brother was wrong. We hated one another. The afternoon turned black. Then suddenly my brother thumped me on the back and said, "Oh, come along. We can't go on all night." I was in the wrong, so he was in the right. So she said after the fight, this is what happens, that we start hating each other and we feel that we are not going to talk to each other ever again and all that. So they also had the same feeling. She said that they both hated each other. The afternoon turned black means that it was like the fight has taken a very bad shape. But then what happened? Then suddenly her brother came and he patted her on her back and he said that now come along. Okay, now let's forget it. Let's be friends. And we cannot continue this fight for the whole night. This is what her brother said to the poetess, that we cannot continue this fight for throughout the night. And he accepted that he was wrong. That means it was his mistake. And for poetess, she says that so he was in the right. That means because she knew or she felt that that her brother was wrong, and finally he has accepted it, so now he is right. That is the poem all about. Please do the question answers I will be sending you. Learn the word meanings of the poem, name of the poetess. Thank you, class. Take care of yourselves. Be safe at home.